Sitting at a red light. Sitting at a red light. It's 7:30 a.m. Oh my God. I'm awake. I'm on the way to SacCon in Sacramento. I have Pop-Tarts.
Welcome back. It's day 20 of 100 days of making comics with me, Gazbot. And I am a tired potato. I had SacCon today. I got very little sleep. I want to say in the neighborhood of 4 hours. I had to get up at 6:45 this morning, which sucked. Then I drove 2 hours up to Sacramento, set up, and then was there from 10 to 5. So one-day show. Wasn't that long. The show itself was pretty good, but the no sleep in the drive was not fun. The show, I did better than I thought I would. I remember yesterday I said I was kind of anticipating not doing well because the only other show I ever did in Sacramento was terrible in terms of nobody came. But I more than made my table and gas back, and I came out, ahead profit-wise, and I met nice people and all that kind of good stuff too. So that was good. I'm going to put up a quick video right here just to show you what it's like walking around the con. That's exactly right. Also, I sold a bunch of prints. I did a couple sketches. I'll put the sketches up right here. So yeah, not a ton, just those two. I also brought the scripts to work on for the horror, and I kind of sort of started reading through two to proofread. I wasn't really able to read. Even when I was busier than I thought, but even when I wasn't busy, I was talking to the guy next to me, people would walk up, I'd have to give my attention. Couldn't really do it. So I put a little bit of time in there, and then stopped, and then I just started drawing monster designs of the horror, because I'm still trying to nail down his final look. And actually, I could put up the ink heads that I was working on. I'm in the ballpark, but I haven't quite nailed it down. But here's what I was working on. However, when I got home, I did do some more work, and I finished going through the whole second issue script, quote-unquote revising it. Although, like with issue 1, I didn't do a lot of revisions. I suspect this one needs more revisions than I gave it, but I'm going to have somebody else take a look at it to give me a second opinion. A lot of the stuff that I thought was boring when I was writing it, when I was reading it, was not nearly as boring, at least to me. So I clearly need a second opinion. Also, when I was at the convention, I took a picture with the Red Power Ranger with his dragon armor, or he could also be called Geki from Zyuranger. Here it is! And that's that. I also saw a Santa Jedi. Here he is. And a Stormtrooper with a big gun, like this. I asked one guy I gave a deal on a print. He was a younger guy, and he was short on cash, and he wanted to print. And I said, you know what, take a couple pictures of me behind my table, get my setup, which he was nice enough to do. Wasn't the best photographer, though. He took this one, which kind of shows my setup, but is blurry, and you can't even tell it's me, really. Also, I wear glasses sometimes, not usually ever, but in these pictures I did. Then he also took about 6 of this one, which is kind of a fun pose I did, but it doesn't show my setup at all. Just a couple things I taped on the back, just for the heck of it. So, kudos to him for being nice, not so much for the photography skills. I can't believe I almost forgot. A weird thing happened. I feel like every convention, something weird happens. Usually it's a weird person that has some bizarre story or request or something. Today everybody was totally cool and fine and friendly and, easy. But when I did a quick little walk around, I saw this. Which is a Godzilla print that I made of the 64 Mothra Godzilla era suit. It's a little 8x8 printout with a matte frame. I sell these for $10 in the frame. Out of the frame, $5. It's like a photographic print, high quality photograph, but it's not like Gilsey or whatever that is. It's just a regular old print. Now here's what's interesting. That wasn't at my table. That was at someone else's table. And they weren't selling a bunch of art or comics. They mostly had toys, but then they had this one print. And as I saw it, I was like, that's weird. My first thought was, well, somebody bought it, decided they didn't want it, and they're getting rid of it. But I don't remember, well, I don't remember this guy buying it for me. Not that I can remember every customer, but then I thought, well, maybe somebody else printed it out somehow or photocopied it and made a copy of one. But it was in the exact same mat frame I use, which is like a custom one I get made. Not that somebody else can't, but the chances of them picking the same one as me is ridiculous. Flipped it over, had a scotch tape to make the bag fit. It was mine, clearly. All this is fine. A little weird that it's there. Somebody purchased it from me. They can do whatever they want with it. Resell it, throw it away, give it away. It's theirs. But on the tag, it had a sticker price, $80. I sell this for $5 or $10. They're selling it for $80. Again, that's their right. If they purchased it from me and could get someone to pay $80, more power to them. But I don't see how that's possible. I mean, you get a print from a big name artist on super high quality paper. You might pay $20, $30, $40 if it's signed, but this is like big name, limited edition, super high quality. I'm not a big name guy, and this is just a regular old print that I sell for $5. So I couldn't figure out why anybody would pay that for it, you know? And I'm not putting myself down. It's just ridiculous. Nobody would ever pay that for anybody's print, really. So I didn't say anything, and I walked away. Went back to my table, kind of told it to my neighbor, and he's like, oh, that's weird, yeah, you know. And then I kept thinking about it and thinking about it. And I'm like, well, maybe this person thinks it's worth that much. Maybe, you know, either they're crazy and they're just like, I think I could get this much money for it. Or they're under some sort of misapprehension about what it is they have, where they think they have something more valuable or rare than what it is. And it was really getting the better of me, so I'm like, I gotta ask. Like, it might end badly, but I have to know. Went back, somebody was sitting there, I said, hey, excuse me, is this your table? No, I'm watching it for a friend. Later, almost near closing time, actually it was closing time, because when I got there, they were half packed up and I didn't see it on the table anymore, but I saw a different guy there, like an older gentleman, and I said, excuse me, is this your table? And then we had this conversation.
I had to ask, you had a Godzilla print over here earlier? Yeah. Why is that $80?
It's a signed lithograph that I got when they had the Godzilla movie that came out. Kotobukiya, my house
Okay.
in Richmond had it, and I paid
In Virginia?
$80 for it. Yeah,
You got that in Virginia for $80.
yeah.
Oh, I gotta tell you something.
What? I get screwed?
Yeah. That's my art. I'm selling it here for $10. And I don't mean to harsh your buzz or anything, but I was like, what is the story here that I don't know? Because, like, whatever, somebody bought it for me, they can sell it for whatever they want, you know? But somebody charged you $80 for that?
Yeah, Kimiko, my house, out of Richmond.
I don't. I mean, I'm from Santa Clara. Previously lived in New Jersey. Never been to Virginia in my life, so I don't even know how it got there. Obviously,
No, Richmond, Oakland.
Oh, come on to my house.
Komodo, my house.
I have been to that store, but I haven't sold.
My phone actually died. That's fine, because that angle was not interesting at all. And I apologize, it's kind of awkward looking, but I wanted to use the real audio since I had it. Basically, we went in circles for a while, and it came out that he bought it from a store that I do know of that is in town here. Well, sort of in town here. But I never sold any prints to that store. I have some of my buttons there on commission, and I know that lady, and I bought a toy or two from her. But I couldn't figure out how she would get one of my prints. Only thing I could think is that maybe somebody else bought it from me and then brought it to her store and sold it to her. In which case, they may have told her some crazy story about why it's more valuable than it is. Because he said he bought it for... Oh, I asked him, why is it $80? And he bought it from her. Not only did he pay $80, but he said he talked her down from $90. Just for the print. He said he bought a toy at the same time. I'm like, oh, it was like a pack-in with a toy? And he's like, no, just for the print. And as you can see the way he described it as a lithograph, limited edition, like, I've never called this a limited edition or a lithograph. It is neither. And I did sell it at a Godzilla event where they were screening Godzilla vs. Biollante, but it wasn't like a premiere. It was just a little local thing with like 3 vendors. I was one of them. So I don't know if somebody misunderstood what they had, or if somebody ripped somebody else off, or how that whole thing came to be. It was really bizarre, and it's so strange that I happen to see it. And where I live is about 2 hours south of this convention, and where that store is about an hour south-ish of me. So, I don't know, it's just bizarre. The thing is, when I told him all this, he didn't get mad at me or anything. I think he felt dumb for spending that money, and I felt bad for him. And I was like, well, you know, I almost didn't want to tell you, but you're just never going to sell it for that, and you shouldn't because it's not worth that. And you know, that's just the situation. And he's like, well, here, just take it then. And I'm like, no, I'm not trying to take it. It's your property. It was sold to someone who sold it to you. It's yours. I'm not saying give me my art back. And he's like, yeah, I don't want it. And I'm like, well, you could still keep it. It's still a nice picture. Maybe you could sell it for $10. I didn't say it like that. But he was like, good karma, whatever. You're the artist. You take it, resell it, whatever. And he gave it back to me. He wasn't mean or nasty or angry about it, but I think he was just like annoyed at himself and didn't want to have to deal with it. So he gave it back to me, and I took it back somewhat reluctantly. However, his misfortune is your good fortune, because what I'm going to do is have a contest to give it away. So, here's the deal. I'll send it to you, the print, the mat, free shipping, and all you have to do on this video is like and share publicly. And then at the end of next week, I will look at everybody that's liked and shared it publicly, and I will randomly pick one person as a winner. And then whoever that person is, I'll send it to him. And that's the exciting conclusion of the contest rules. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm beat. I don't know how much time I put in today. I'm going to say an hour, hour and a half. I wasn't being real precious with keeping track because I really only felt compelled to do a half hour, being that my day was so long. Because then after that, I had to drive 2 hours back. And so, yeah, I pretty much was out all day since 6 in the morning. It's like 11 now, so my video will be going up whenever I'm done editing, and then I'll maybe watch TV and sleep. Go! But before I watch TV and sleep, I need to let you know something else. Today is day 20, so that means that
We've got 80 days left! Ooh, Finn and Jake. Ooh, Gunther!